Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Overtime. We are covering what's occurring with the protests. We have Donald Trump has, in fact, what he's done, we don't entirely know. He apparently has federalized the National Guard and deployed 2,000 of them into Los Angeles. Now, whether or not he's entitled to do that is a good question. He is under certain conditions. I don't think any of those conditions have been met, but we're not there yet in the discussion. We do believe that it is there's a very good argument to be made for the fact that the National Guard or any military that are being deployed and used in the streets of Los Angeles today are violating the law and their oath to uphold the Constitution. Given that we have a notice down at the bottom, if you are National Guard or active duty military and you are being ordered to violate the constitutional rights of citizens, there is a GI rights hotline. Now, you may or may not be aware, but actually the oath of all military is to the Constitution of the United States, and they are prohibited from following illegal orders. They are prohibited. They cannot do it. That doesn't mean it doesn't on occasion happen. A lot of things happen, but this is, I think, about to get very important. We have 3 channels up right now. We actually had, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go check back with, let's see, this is 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐡𝐨𝐥𝐚𝐬. I'm going to turn the audio on. I'm curious to see what they're up to right now. Okay, she's been having difficulty with her car. The problem is the person who streams on 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐡𝐴𝐥𝐚𝐬 was doing an excellent job covering in Compton, appears to have been struck with something, was bleeding from the head, from the center of the head, and had to leave. So we don't know his status right now. We are going to go back to, this is ABC Channel 7. We've also got an aerial view. There's a helicopter that's been going by both what's been going on in Compton and in front of the ICE detention facility. You can see the ICE detention facility there on the screen immediately to my left. Now, that facility is not built to withstand any significant kind of invasion or attack. We are in an interesting position because I think people, including Trump, including most of the people in his cabinet, are interested in seeing violence tonight. The reason is because they wish to invoke the I was going to say the Alien Enemies Act, but they've already done that. They wish to invoke the Insurrection Act, and Donald Trump is going to attempt to grab even more power, which is what he's been doing. The reality is, one way or another, he is going to invoke it. That is our opinion. I think that's a pretty defensible position. Whether it happens tonight, whether it happens a week from now, I do not know. But it is going to happen. So far, this protest seems reasonably well organized. We've seen a number of fires. We've seen 1 or 2 burnt out cars, but it looks like the cars were deliberately burnt out and then placed to block any kind of incoming vehicles from ICE into Compton. I highly advise the National Guard not to go into Compton at night. It is a heavily armed neighborhood. They know how to use those weapons, and they know the neighborhood better than you do. We don't know what's going on with the Compton standoff. For all I know, it may actually even be over. Our main source for that, and we've got another source that was going to, from TikTok, that we were going to put up on the blank screen on the far side, far on your right. Unfortunately, that TikTok source is down for us. So we will work on getting that TikTok source that was exclusively in Compton, and it was interesting. So in the meantime, we should put, once again, like numbers so that I can number them for you and tell you which one's which. But the largest square furthest on the lower right, that's actually an aerial view. That helicopter has given us a lot to look at. As you can see, so far things have been calm outside of Compton. We have not seen a lot of fireworks, flashbangs, or any attacks, but there has now been a conflict between the National Guard and well, we're going to listen in here. Let's listen in. This is
Yeah, I have a good update for you now. First, I want to tell you that police have formed another line at Alameda Street further down, and so they pushed people out that were kind of huddled back over there, and they made their way over here. And now coming back to where we are here, there's a big group of LAPD officers, and I saw they have a big stack of those zip ties. So, and you know what? I think I may have heard that dispersal order, but I think arrests are on deck here. They're coming because officers, I see they have the zip ties. They're moving. They will be moving closer. And I want to say I've been hearing the dispersal, but it's so hard to tell with all these helicopters above us here. But this is the most we've seen when it comes to potential arrests happening. Yeah, okay. I'll send it back to you.
all right. So we know that the LAPD has now gotten involved. They previously had been staying out of it for a number of reasons. It's quite clear that the government of California is not pleased with any of this and blames the federal government. They do not want to cooperate. Having said that, at this point, it's gotten big enough that they may order a dispersal. If they do, they are prepared. They've got zip ties. We have a couple of different. We lost one feed, the bottom right feed. We have switched that to Univision. Probably not going to play. Well, we may play the audio for that. You'll have to speak Spanish, but that's what can you do? Let's listen in on ABC News and see. They seem to have switched back to the helicopter and see what they're saying. All right, they are not saying anything. LAPD has declared an unlawful assembly as immigration protests erupt in downtown Los Angeles. So we do believe that at this point the police will be moving forward. It's just a question of when. Now, they may pull out and show. Okay, I don't think that's the building on the right there. And I'm curious to know what those white vehicles are that are moving in. If we get another channel, like I said, our TikTok feed is down. Apparently, I am in a country that is not suitable for viewing this material. I'm in the United States. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. We don't use a VPN. We don't, but we are, as you know, we've moved. We're on a new provider for whatever reason. That provider it has some settings such that our TikTok view is down. So we'll work with what we've got. Another reminder, the military is not allowed to violate the rights of U.S. citizens. They do it all the time. You know that. I know that. The police violate the rights of U.S. citizens. We're trying to get better, and we're better than we were 50 years ago and 50 years before that, and so on and so forth. So I'm not going to sit here and suggest that hold on, that's in. Let's see if they've returned. Okay, yeah, we've got that stream back. But having said that, there's a big difference between we have to admit that police officers will take a suspect and accidentally slam his head against a steering wheel, or as they're getting him into the car against, and they're human beings and they do things that they shouldn't do. Having said that, violating posse comitatus, violating the rights of every citizen of that state itself by deploying the military there illegally is something that I think you don't want to be on the wrong side of. All right, so this is, we did leave the audio on for that, so like I said, this is ABC's aerial view. All we're hearing is the pilot. I'm going to mute that. NBCLA, let's see what they have to say.
Copy.
Oh, that's also another that's the helicopter view. So the only ones that we have that are on the ground here, let's see. All right, so we don't have anyone who is talking to us at this moment. That is Fox. Believe me, I want to hear what Fox has to say. So we do know that the police have ordered everyone to disperse. They have a very large line prepared to do that. The protesters that I've seen here are not like the ones in Compton. They don't look like they're fortified and prepared to defend their positions. So if this happens, my guess is it's going to be over reasonably quickly. The question is going to be how many injuries are there going to be and or fatal. Okay, it looks okay. They're moving in. Well, no, they're moving into position. It looks like we lost a reporter. We've had that happen before. We were actually there when the reporter got struck by the police as they were clearing the church so that Donald Trump could show how pious he was and hold up a Bible in front of the. So but so far it looks like the camera took a hit and is cutting out. We saw some shaking. The cameraman was backing up, and then okay, so. And we got the aerial view there. What I'm going to do is quickly do some live chats. We put a lot of effort into this, as you can tell. This is what we do, and it's a full-time job. So we appreciate all of you who support us. Dunk on you, another $20. Thank you for this, sir. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure and the pleasure of all of us to be able to report on this and to be able to provide context, because there's a difference between just what you see and what it means in the larger context. As we said earlier today, what's important about this isn't just that there are riots, and we've covered, and these aren't riots yet. This is protests. But so what the police will do, police will kettle people, and they'll also kettle people into positions where they are violating the law. So if they can move protesters from a private street or a private driveway, which is, by the way, every driveway that is maintained by any business anywhere downtown, it's actually private property. If you're there protesting, there isn't a lot they can do about it. If, however, they can move you out into the street, now they have a lot more. Okay, we do see a police line that appears to be moving. It is directly below me. They're marching in formation. They appear to have detained someone and are going through his pockets. So, the ability to detain you while you're on somebody else's private property is limited. They can do it. I mean, if you go commit murder, if they have probable cause to arrest you because they've seen, that's one thing. But when you're out publicly on the street, it changes from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But in general, the police have it's much easier time detaining and or arresting you. At what it looks like, I don't know how many protesters were out in the street or not, but okay, that's Fox 2 and BCLA. So it looks like we lost ABC 7. It looks like the helicopter may have come in for a landing. So I don't know. We'll work on ABC 7, and the Fox camera keeps cutting out. It got hit. We heard a hit from the police coming by. I don't know if it was a deliberate shove or not. I kind of doubt it. But at any rate, the signal keeps getting cut out. So, Duncan, you also gifted 5 in-time Independent News gift memberships. That's 5 more people that get to participate. So thank you very much for that. What I believe we're seeing in the lower center right, it's NBC, is the primary central line, and what I think we're seeing below me is just more troops moving towards that line. So they are preparing to go in. They have not done so. Let me see if the LAPD feed, we can also go back. So this is, this was in Compton. It looks like they've gotten the car moving. I believe they're going to the hospital. This is 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿. He was injured while covering what was happening in Compton. Again, they're covering that, but we don't have that right now. Let me just see here. So this is, again, I think they're headed to the hospital. Okay, so he does not, and he was talking as he was getting back to his car. He was talking. He seemed all right. He was bleeding, but it was not a wound that looked like it was life-threatening. He is really more just going to go get checked out. It was a blow to the head, and in general, you should get all blows to the head checked out. You can get what is it, a subdural hematoma. You can get the brain swelling without even knowing it. The blows to the head can actually be extraordinarily serious, and you don't know for 3 days. So we will, that's where he is going now, and so his coverage of what was going on in Compton is over. If any of our regular crew has a link, it has to be a YouTube link. Our TikTok window is down. So if you've got a YouTube link to Compton, let me know and or send it to me, and we can get that up in one of the feeds that we've got going. But until then, it's Fox News, NBC, and ABC, and the police do look like they are getting ready to start going forward. We have seen them briefly detaining individuals. You can see right below me, they are pushing people back. One of the things, they are running. Now the police are running. What are they doing? This is on, well, I don't know. We'll see. So at the detention facility, they had deliberately blocked the garage so that nobody could bring deportees either in or out, which was pretty clever. And again, it was actually still property that the police could not arrest you on unless they could get you off into the street, in which case you're blocking traffic. I don't know if that happened or not, but whatever did happen escalated enough that we now see the LA police involved. We know 2,000 National Guard have been, my understanding, federalized and deployed. By what authority they've been federalized, I don't know. I wish we had his entering here. It's apparently Article 10 of the Constitution. I am aware that he is allowed to federalize. In fact, he is allowed to draft into the military just about anybody he wants to at any time. But there is due process to that, and he needs cause. But the president can initiate a draft and draft every American, and he can draft any organization and any set or group of people. So if he federalizes and drafts the National Guard, he can do that. But unfortunately, we talk about the Constitution a lot. This is not an element of the Constitution I expected to... Dad's gone live. Not sure who that is. Anyways, this is not a part of the Constitution that I spent a great deal on because I was not really concerned about the Insurrection Act or any attempt at violating posse comitatus. Yet here we are. I was going to say, 4 years ago, nobody even knew the word posse comitatus. That's not true because we had to discuss it during his first presidency. Let's hear what this man is saying here on the bike.
Oh yeah, I'm here. Yes, We got more activity coming right now.
All right, we can see in two windows now the police are moving in quite significantly. We can see it on the channel 4, and let's see, there is a reporter here, so I want to see if she's talking. Oh.
More activity right now. We have these patrol cars pull up, officers coming out. They look to be in their gear here with their shields down, and I'm not sure what direction they're going to be going, but they might be joining these officers to my right over here. But yes, we've been seeing a handful of people here in front of the police. They are just having conversation. At times, like Gio, like you mentioned, they're very expressive. There goes the officers now. They're jogging across here. Let's see where they go. I do know that people were jumping that fence over there as well earlier, but it seems like they've all gone away, except for a couple of people running inside there. So it looks like LAPD is now just kind of getting a bigger presence out here at Alameda and Temple. And they have blocked off, Leslie, you're right, all the way down by 1st Street here, which is, I think, a positive thing here, because remember, all this traffic was still coming through here, and I think it was making it difficult for them to get a handle on things here, because they had all these cars moving through these intersections. But that's what it looks like out here. I haven't seen any more arrests, but I've also been just in a corner over here, because police have pushed everybody back. So I don't know what's happening on the other side, because I can't see that far.
All right, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Everyone was letting me know about Dad's Gone Live. So he is a YouTuber. He apparently is in Compton. He flashed on briefly. I just want to make sure that we do have him. We've got him right now. Well, he's witnessing. Let's actually see what he's doing. So he's there's been a good deal of defacement of this store. It looks like there's some kind of argument going on. We may actually leave that here for a minute. You can see in the main screen, the police are moving forward, and they've been deploying tear gas. We may go to that fuck ICE and a number of other... yeah, so this is Dad's Gone Live. Hopefully we'll get another shot of the mini mart at the gas station from the side, because there's graffiti all along the side of it. Oh, that's an overturned cherry picker of some kind. So the primary damage of any kind that we've seen so far has been in Compton, and my suspicion is, and you can see the police there. We heard a lot of flashbangs. They were throwing the flashbangs into the air, and it sounds very much like gunfire. It's very hard to tell the difference, and that's, for me, one of the things that makes it intimidating, is because you think they're shooting at you. Thank you for those who recommended Dad's Gone Live. I appreciate it. That's so we're gonna bring him in on the right, since he is on the ground. The only other one thing let's see, I just want to make sure. This suggested that there were some fires, but I don't have that there. So let's go back to Dad's Gone Live. I don't know if they're going to move in on Compton. Actually, I'm going to go back to ABC, simply because we can tell on Channel 4, NBC, and you can see the channels. You can't quite make out Channel 4, but Channel 4 is in the center. Channel 4 is on the bottom right. Dead center is Fox News. That's the smallest one. Upper right is Channel 7, but we've also got Compton, Dad's Gone Live up there. There's been intermittent movement. Now, this is all downtown Los Angeles, and this is just outside the center. It looks like they have no interest in moving forward in Compton. They're not going to let anyone in or out. There's been some damage. We saw a burnt out car that was placed in the middle of the road. It was placed in the middle of the road by residents of Compton to block police from gaining access. So they've sort of fortified themselves there. All right, so there's fireworks that somebody deployed against the police that you can see, channel 4. We may move back. It looks like they're slowly moving in. I haven't seen... The last time we checked on the protesters, there was about 400 outside the ICE detention facility. They were blocking access to it. They were keeping detainees from being brought in. Trump has nationalized 2,000 members of the, or federalized 2,000 members of the National Guard. Now, the other thing is that Pete Hegseth says that Camp Pendleton Marines have been put on standby. We have been working very hard to actively confirm that story. Pete Hegseth can say whatever the fuck he wants, and he said it on Twitter. So I got no idea. He said, well, we're going to put the Marines on standby. They may be, they may not. And he can put anybody on standby he wants to. Deploying them is another thing. At any rate... All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on Dad's Gone Live in the background. We are going to go back to, actually, I want to go back to, all right, so this is, let's listen to, this is SoCal. He was in, he was in Compton when he was injured. He's in the hospital, so he may have a weak signal.
I don't know if they threw the bottle at us or what they did. But I don't think so. I don't think the police throw bottles. You know.
I've seen police push old men in the. But actually now, Dad's Gone Live. These are vehicles that, whoa. All right, and from what I can tell, they're having a fiesta in Compton. So let's, SoCal is receiving medical attention. He appears to be fine. He's obviously, as I said before, he's lucid. He's talking to the doctor. It looks like a bottle of some kind struck him in the head. He appeared to be claiming that it was a police officer who threw the bottle. Like, oh, police don't throw. Listen, police do a lot of shady shit. We have shown on this show police planting evidence. Police who don't realize how body cams work plant evidence right in the middle of, and you know, if they can plant evidence, the only reason they don't throw bottles back at you is because they know that there are cameras and they may get caught, and they still do it. We've seen it. We've covered it. It doesn't mean that that's what happened, but I gotta say, he was facing the police. He wasn't facing the rest of Compton. He was trying to cover what was going on with the police. I don't know what hit him in the head, but yeah. All right. So obviously, a rather tense situation going on, except in Compton, where they seem to be partying. Like I said, I'm suspecting the police are not going to make an attempt to go in there. That was actually the National Guard outside of Compton, if I'm correct. So it's military. We do know 2,000 members of the military have been federalized and have been deployed. This was pointed out earlier to me as Titan and I were discussing this, that you want to be very careful with police actions done by the military, because the military aren't trained to do that. The U.S. military is trained to kill people. That is their job, and I like to think they're very good at it. I'm proud of our military. That's what they do. Deploying them to do anything other than that is usually unwise. Michael Westby, police leaving pallets of bricks around. Yeah, that's I remember you had sent me a couple of images, both during the Chop House and during Black Lives Matter, where police had been leaving pallets of bricks around, and the reason is because they want the protesters to start something. And this is one of the things where we've said this earlier, there's a genuine problem, which is if the protesters don't start anything today, tomorrow it's going to be worse, because there's going to be a lot more protesters tomorrow as the word has spread, and there's going to be a lot more arrests tomorrow, as they've already said they are ramping them up, and they expect to have more than double the number of arrests tomorrow than they did today. And it was the nature of and how they did the arrests that upset people so much. They would literally come in, practically breaking into a facility. They did arrest, and I've forgotten who it was. It was the head of, oh dear, somebody in the live chat may have it, a manufacturing organization, named manufacturing organization that would know, who said, you know, you're not permitted in this facility, and they just came in. If they've got a warrant, you know, that's fine. To the best of my knowledge, he was not presented with a warrant, and he was told that he was interfering with the federal government, and he was arrested. He has been released. He has been applauded by by Governor Newsom. Meanwhile, J.D. Vance came out and said nobody's above the law. So, you know, we'll see. I am curious. I haven't heard much about warrants. What ICE is empowered to do with or without a warrant. One of the things they've been doing, we covered that this morning. And this is another shoot yourself in the foot moment. They've been arresting people when they come out of courthouses. And the problem is that this disincentivizes immigrants who are following the legal process, going to court when they're supposed to, going to their immigration hearings. It disincentivizes them from following the law, because when they do, that's when they get picked up. It's a really bad idea. That notwithstanding, they've also been having their charges dropped. And ostensibly, the reason the charges are dropped is so that they actually have fewer rights, such as to counsel, and makes it easier for immigration to just stick them on a bus because they don't have a lawyer anymore, or a public defender or anything like that. So they drop whatever criminal or civil charges are against them, pick them up, and deport them. Again, now there's no criminal charges against them, but they're just deporting them and you speed up the deportations by dropping any criminal charges. Truth be told, if you're doing that to a rapist or a murderer or any number of other people, you still shouldn't do it, but at least I get it. And I can sit there and say, okay, these are terrible people, and the ones that you prioritize in deporting, the ones they're going after, were coming in for a damn parking ticket. They come to pay the ticket. Doesn't sound like Jimmy Hoffa to me. Doesn't sound like Al Capone to me. And then it's like, no, we're dropping the ticket, but you're going to El Salvador. Welcome. All right. So, at this point, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay. So they showed in Compton. They showed the, and you see a flash just as this reloads. You see a flash of a burning car. They've overturned a cherry. That looks like a cherry picker. I don't know. It's got to be a police vehicle because it's lit up. It's flashing blue and lights, but it looks like an electrical utility. I don't know what it's got deployed there. Right now, not much is happening there, and right now, not much is happening in the, all right. Oh, it does sound like they may be talking. Let me see if I can get the audio from Fox.
Two protesters talking to police right there. They haven't moved. There's also a bunch of, a handful of people over here as well. We have to be careful. There's some signage we can't show you out here because of bad language, to really give you a full scope of the scene down there. A lot of helicopters in the air. The LAPD chopper has been making, circling around here as well. Where I am right now, it definitely feels like there's more police than protesters. I don't know where everyone else went. I did hear some people say we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a different story, though, because the National Guard's going to be here. So this whole scene could look very different when they get here as well. But that's what's happening right now. Just a lot of police presence here. They have the roads blocked off. I did see a big bus. It looked like there was a police bus possibly for the people that were arrested. I only saw one person get arrested from where I'm at here, but there most likely are a lot more people that got arrested as well. We'll have to get the numbers from police later tonight. But that is what it looks like right here on the ground.
All right, so basically it looks like, and we had seen up to maybe 400 tops protesters at the detention facility. It appears as if most of them have dispersed. We've seen police moving in formation into various positions, but and we've seen some fireworks and some tear gas deployed, but it looks like there's no, at least in downtown Los Angeles, there's no organized or significant protest right now. The police, they're saying, outnumber the protesters significantly, so the protesters look like they're going home and throwing the occasional fireworks at the police. So what that suggests to me is we are unlikely to see anything later tonight. The reporter mentioned that the 2,000 troops would be arriving, so my understanding was that some were already deployed. Either way, there's going to be the full 2,000 troops. Now, Trump can federalize the National Reserve from any state, so he can pull from any nearby states and just send as many National Guard in as he wants to. I said reserve, I meant to say guard. So we'll see. We'll also see what memorandum or executive orders that he issues tomorrow as a result of this. The language used by Stephen Miller was pretty clear. Stephen Miller said that the demonstrations today were, quote, an insurrection against the laws and sovereignty of the United States. That is language directly out of the Constitution, and it is pertaining to the Insurrection Act and what would presumably allow the president to deploy troops outside of Posse Comitatus. So the Insurrection Act, and listen, we've been talking about the Insurrection Act for 2 or 3 months now. We've known that he wants to get around Posse Comitatus. We've known that the Insurrection Act is the way he's going to do it. So whether it's today, tomorrow, or next week, I do know that Governor Newsom is extraordinarily upset at how this is being handled. I'd like to point out, I would like someone from MAGA to explain something to me. I'm aware that your goal is to remove all people who have entered the country illegally. Okay, that's fine. There's no easy way to do that. It's a lot of people. There are ways of doing it, and Trump has many at his disposal that he's been doing. But previous presidents have actually deported more than Trump to date, and that includes both Barack Obama and President Biden, deported more than Trump did. But the difference is, the ones that Biden and Trump deported actually had committed vicious and illegal crimes. 70% of the people on those planes sent to El Salvador, 70% had no criminal record. And when this information was given to the White House, they responded with, well, that proves they're gang members, because gang members try to keep a clean record so that they can, avoid detection by the police. That is the dumbest, worst fucking thing I have ever heard in my life. That's insane. And it was the White House saying it. They're guilty because they haven't been convicted of anything. That was the argument. And so you've got an Obama administration, a Biden administration that deported more people successfully and more people who had actually committed violent crimes once they were in the United States, where you have Trump deporting an 18-year-old boy who was an honor roll student, or at least detaining him, presumably for deportation, beloved by the community, and was brought over here when he was 5. So my question is, why is this better than the system that we've been doing till now? I don't have an answer to that. We have now in the central window, so this is once again, they've got the helicopter view back up. That's the detention facility. As you can see, everything's clear all around it. So I don't anticipate anything more happening there tonight. In Compton, we seem to be headed away from where the police line is. That may be just that I think they think there isn't anything else that's going to be happening over there. They've left the gas station, and below us, there's been no more activity. We did see some gas canisters deployed and some fireworks set off by protesters, but for the most part at this point, I don't see any groups of protesters anywhere. This may be a little overkill. I'm looking at how many police cars there are, but I will say this, from what I've seen, nobody has received serious injury. We covered there was a 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐡𝐨𝐥𝐚𝐬 did receive an injury. We covered him getting to the hospital, but it looked non-life-threatening. Short of that, we haven't seen National Guard coming in and shooting people in the what was the university where that happened? Again, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to call in the live chat when the National Guard shot and killed 5 Vietnam protesters at, I want to say Berkeley? Probably not. I don't remember. Anyways, we haven't seen that. So, yes, someone was, that's true. Yeah, so I haven't heard of any fatalities. So, that's as good as it's going to get. Here's what we are Kent State. Thank you. That was it. We haven't seen Kent State, so good. National Guard will be here. That's another 2,500 people. Trump has a couple of decisions to make. Is he going to invoke the not the Alien Enemies Act, the Insurrection Act? His chief of staff clearly expects him to at some point, and has already laid down the framework in terms of how he has framed this as an insurrection against the sovereignty of the United States. You don't use language like that unless you expect your boss is going to invoke it. We did expect that today Trump would be revoking a significant amount of funding for California, specifically all of the grants and funding that goes to Berkeley and other schools throughout the state of California. Governor Newsom said if he does that he was going to strongly consider withholding all the federal money that goes from the state to the federal government, because the federal government is not returning the money that they're supposed to be sending back. That did not happen. We don't know if the reason it didn't happen is because it was never planned for today anyway. We know it's in the air. We know it's going to happen. Trump has said that he's going to do it to states that are, or any entities, state, city, or district that is a, what was he calling it? A sanctuary city. So we know he's going to do it, and we're expecting it, and we expected it today. To the best of my knowledge, it has not yet happened. There's been no executive order or memoranda pulling that funding, but we expect it. So the question is, how is Trump going to reply to this? We also know that Trump has had a bit of a bad week. He broke up with his bestie Elon. The coordinated attack by Ukraine in Russia made him look like an idiot. And it made him look like an idiot. And this is one of the reasons the reason I think that he went to Russia and he said, you guys go respond any way you like, is because he sat there and, put his hand on Zelensky and literally, pushed Zelensky around and said, you have no cards, there's nothing you can do. And Zelensky has shown quite effectively that that is not true, between hitting the Kerch Bridge again and the Operation Spiderweb. So between that and a couple of failures in court, Trump's just having a bad week. And I guess I feel for the guy, but I don't think... I mean, I understand why he wants to change the narrative, but throwing the country into turmoil might not be a great way to do that. Having said that, he's looking to change the story. He's looking to feel more the dictator that he believes he was born to be and to be beloved. So I'm expecting that he's going to do something. Expect also challenges to the... Why are they bringing more troops in? I am now very confused. And the Fox News down directly below me, another group of troops have just showed up, and I honestly don't know why. Okay, that's downtown Los Angeles. LAPD declares unlawful assembly. We already know that. It was a minor conflict. I mean, it was in terms of what we've seen before, it was minor. So I think we're going to have to wait and see what Trump does tomorrow. I think there's obviously going to be legal challenges to federalizing the National Guard. I think the governor is ready to play hardball. When you tell the federal government that you're going to stop paying into federal coffers, that already right there is almost tantamount to rebellion. I mean, an entire state refusing to pay into the union is almost open rebellion. So the fact that he even suggested it, Newsom's, I'm impressed. I'm gonna check the audio on these. I don't think there's anything. Let's check Fox News first real quickly. So Fox... So this is Fox 2, and they've been getting their news from an ABC reporter and an ABC cameraman. Okay. That explains why we can't hear the audio going to her. It's not from Fox News. You can see the logo right.
Now we just saw a group of officers, LAPD officers, make their way back to their patrol cars over there. Their information walking back. We still, though, do have a line of officers blocking off Alameda here at Temple Street. You can see they've got it kind of cornered over here. And then I see all the way in the back, I do see a bunch of officers by that gate over there as well. Potentially 𝐍𝐤𝐜𝐿 can probably see better than I can. They might have people over there that they potentially have arrested. There's a big cluster of officers over in that area. Right now, this is the calmest it's been all night, since this all kind of got out of control since about, just before 9 o'clock, around 8:30 or so, when things really escalated here. But right now it was pretty calm. Officers are they have all the corners surrounded here, and I have not seen any protesters. There is a group of people, I'm not really sure if they're protesters or not, or just people just watching and seeing what's going on here. We have seen a lot of people just coming by just to watch this unfold. So perhaps that's what...
All right, so yeah, they've had a lot of lollygaggers kind of like us, so it looks like for now things are done. Neither in... Well, Compton, now they seem to all be leaving and think that this is basically... nothing's going to go forward. Things look reasonably peaceful there, and outside the detention facility, all of the protesters have gone. So the question is, again, what's going to happen tomorrow? They are going to be ready for a significantly larger protest. they do want violence, whether it comes today or next week. They want it because that's what's going to give the president the chance to crack down and to employ more. And that was the argument that he used when he was kidnapping people in Portland, off the streets in Portland, Oregon. So we'll see. We'll be covering that. Obviously, we're going to stay on top of that tomorrow. If you want to watch how we organize and do what we do, come join us on the Discord. You can also help us gather our materials. We're largely community run. I am the face, and I sort of curate the material, but it's it's other people bringing us stories as much as it's me finding stories, and it's people helping us out and working out and making sure that everybody gets as accurate information as we can give. So we look forward to seeing you then, and hopefully we'll get more clarity from the Tangerine-in-Chief as to just what it is he plans on doing and how much more power he intends on grabbing, and we'll see how far California is going to be willing to let him go. This has been the rundown. It's been overtime. Thank you all for joining us, and I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Have a good night.